I'll write it and we'll do it live.
All right, little delay in the stream there. Don't know if the camera audio is picking up or the microphone audio. Can't figure that out right now. So we're just gonna roll with it. We're just gonna roll with it today. So apologies if the audio is not great. But today we are going to be talking about The Mandalorian, Season 1, Episode 3, called The Sin. Of course, I'm Nate, joined with Connor.
Hello.
Steven.
Howdy.
And Justin.
What's up, guys?
Steven, welcome to the live stream. It's your first time on.
Thanks. I don't think I've done a live stream since
KOTOR?
Halloween.
Halloween?
Yeah, we did a Halloween live stream.
Oh, yeah.
Did we?
Yep. For the trailer.
We did some live reactions to some trailers.
Oh.
Could have been KOTOR.
Remember the
I don't think that was a stream.
off angle?
Yeah, I remember that. Like the camera is right now. Totally kind of crooked.
That is true.
But it,
One of them was. I remember we were all lined up here.
yeah, I think you might have been right. But anyways, we're talking about the third episode of The Mandalorian. Of course, what a great episode. Just right off the bat, once again, I think it's solidified at this point that The Mandalorian is easily cruising its way to being the best live-action Disney Star Wars thing we've seen so far.
I don't know how it's sustainable. This is like movie quality stuff.
It really makes
Like the most expensive.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy big budget. Like,
yeah, it's absolutely insane. The budget that we have been experiencing, the high quality.
you gotta think we've got, what, like 90 minutes of Mandalorian under our belts now?
True,
And
yeah.
And there's been a big budget set piece in every episode.
True,
Crazy.
to a certain extent.
Right.
I feel like the second episode really didn't have anything like super crazy, but I get what you're saying.
The Mudhorn?
We couldn't have done the Mudhorn.
Yeah, true. I forgot about the Mudhorn scene. That was pretty long. So Connor, you've got notes for us to go on about episode 3, so let's just get into it.
Well, I mean, we pick up right where we left off. The child is awake, gets out of his little thingy,
Oh, so cute.
His crib.
little crib.
Pod.
Little space crib pod. Tries to play with the little ball thing. Well, successfully plays it and gets it taken away.
Super cute.
And so he returns and is rewarded for the bounty.
Like, wait, can I just mention when they get on
Yes.
the planet, you don't think Baby Yoda could get any cuter, and then you start seeing the flopping ears
Yes.
in the wind. Then we get to see another burnt Salacious. Oh, excuse me.
But
My boy.
I mean, so there's the trade is done, and I don't think anyone wasn't sad even watching it the second time.
True.
As the child is taken away.
Like,
The sad coup. You know, we're used to the cute coup, and then there was like oh God, my heart.
It's like the R2D2 sad beep noises when it shows up on the closed caption, but yeah, it's honestly, I mean, I did call it. I did call it in the last episode, but
I mean,
think
you
it was,
like point for point called it.
but I think it was pretty obvious
Yeah.
that something like that was going to happen. So yeah, the Mandalorian gets rewarded for
He gets roasted for asking questions, though.
true
Because
because
he's not supposed to.
how uncharacteristic of someone with your reputation.
But he ends up getting a whole ton of Beskar, gets his shiny new armor.
Some like really cool phone cases.
Right? Why aren't those phone cases already?
That's what I'm asking.
I mean,
They also look like external hard drives.
true. But,
We got some
So-
Mandalorian lore.
yeah, true. But I was going to say that it dispels I thought we were going to have 3 separate time periods in this show. Like, young, like super young, kind of young, and then the older Mandalorian. So he gets the new shiny silver armor that we saw in the trailer in this episode, which is fine. I'm cool with it. But yeah, we do get a lot of Mandalorian backstory, and Jrick is a big fan of Clone Wars and Rebels like you are. Was it satisfying?
It was very satisfying. I believe, Buck, you're a big Mando guy as well. But, yeah, I mean, the Beskar is straight out of Rebels. They mention it in Rebels, and it's definitely filled that need, that craving of a little more Mandalorian. Like when they say that they never take off their helmets, like all of the clans in the Clone Wars and Rebels that they show are always taking off their helmets. So I think that's relatively new to me, at least. I haven't heard of the we never take off our helmet thing.
Just from a logistical point of view, that sounds like a difficult life.
Yeah, I was like, I was thinking about that. Like, when do you clean yourself?
It's like a luchador.
Yeah. But how do they eat?
How do they eat?
Eating and drinking, that thing, it's hard to do that apparently in a Spider-Man mask. But imagine a metal.
They have really long bendy straws for everything that go all the way up into the helmet.
Well, there's all kinds of different Mandalorians, obviously. Like there's even Mandalorians that work for the Empire.
True.
I
mean, technically, the Mandalorian kind of worked for the Empire when he accepted this bounty, in a way.
An empirical remnant.
Yeah, it's a remnant, but
they're like legitimate, like Imperial Mandalorians.
Yeah. There is in Rebels too.
Yeah.
But I was like, totally lost my train of thought. Never mind.
Yeah. I mean, since we're kind of going off Rebels and Clone Wars, and it's kind of skipping ahead, but to see all the jetpacks,
true,
super, like, it just looks ripped straight out of one of those shows.
Absolutely. One of the best moments in all of the Mandalorians so far was seeing, that's one thing I did not honestly expect to happen, was that all of the Mandalorians would show up and go guns blazing. And
kind of going back to when all the Beskar stuff is happening, there was a little feud between the heavy infantry Mandalorian.
Yeah. True. And this is the way.
Yeah.
And you said you think the heavy Mandalorian was voiced by Jon Favreau?
I'm fairly certain.
I feel like I could kind of hear it when you said it.
He has a knack for voicing Mandalorians because he also did the voice of what's his name? He has a Darksaber in Clone Wars. He's the leader of Death Watch.
The guy, is that the guy that gets decapitated by Savage?
By Maul.
Or Maul.
We put him on the lit pre-Vizsla.
Yeah, right.
Savage.
What?
You mean Savage Opress?
You mean evil McVillain man?
Just a little.
General Grievous?
So what's our next point?
Well, so I mean, like you said, yeah, there's a little bit of a beef. It's pretty quickly disrupted, but this is the way. It was kind of, I like the first thing he does is try to get the helmet off. It was like a interesting little immediate thing to go for.
Yeah.
Right.
But then after that's all cleared up, we get the reveal of the new armor. Another bar entrance. Again, very Western aesthetic.
And to build on the Westerns, I noticed this time on the second watch, a lot of those like pew, like classic gunslinger cowboy like gun shooting noises from like old Westerns.
He's gonna have those little spinning things on his boots in the next
spurs. They seriously
the little
vibroblade spurs.
Like especially during that shootout, I noticed it was coming from not just his gun but other people's guns too. Very westerny, and same thing like flipping over into like the covered wagon, using that while it's moving. Such ripped straight out of a Western, the last shootout scene.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
I also liked that shootout scene. One small detail that I pointed out the other day is that like you can really tell that the Empire, the remnants of the Empire really do not have any of their resources. Like they're working with very little. Like the one stormtrooper just has his sidearm. And like that poor trooper doesn't even get his rifle.
And the other trooper had the Scarif rifle, like the longer weapon they use in Rogue One, which I thought was interesting. It's weird that
they're like mixing and matching.
Yeah, and there's like, obviously we have the Mandalorian's armor on his hands, very clearly short, like Scarif trooper armor. Same thing with the original Pauldron.
Yeah.
Like I'm wondering why there's so much like Rogue One stuff.
Contractual obligations.
I think they
why.
do that on purpose. I mean, they've done it in the game too. Like that one guy with the arms is the same species. It's just they try to enforce that this is all the same universe.
Mm-hmm. I think it does help though. Yeah. Like I was telling you, I revisited Rogue One yesterday, and I was like, now that I know so much about Saw as a character,
Mhm.
like seeing him in Rogue One, like at the end of his life, makes a lot more sense than going into Rogue One blind. You don't know who this guy is, and you're like,
It's kind of just random.
like
Although he is in
okay.
Clone Wars.
Right.
But yeah, I think it reinforces that it's a shared universe. Like
You
in
just have Stockholm syndrome.
Fallen Order, they have like the K2SO droids.
Right.
So it's all just like, yeah, it's all shared.
But I think it's helping as time goes on to make everything just like a
Well-
little bit less jarring.
Well,
Right.
actually, on that note, one of my favorite lines from the episode is like when he's talking to Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers is like, at least being nice is like such a clear-cut scumbag.
Mhm.
My friend's success is my success. Like,
He's like, even I'm rich.
yes. But there's the whole thing about like, oh, if whatever's happening with the kid really bothers you, go to talk to the New Republic, and he's just like, that's a joke. And I love that. I'm like, yeah. Like,
That's exactly what would happen.
Yes.
You'd fly all the way to the core just for someone to be like, all right, well,
Your complaint has been filed.
Yeah.
And
well, I just mean because even in like Force Awakens, like there like the New Republic's a thing, but it's pretty quickly. Like,
Oh yeah, immediately. And then the Last Jedi, they're barely
there's
existing.
14 of them.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of great moments throughout this episode where like something happens earlier in the episode and then it has something to do. There's like a few instances like that with the ball.
And this
And
episode
Baby Yoda likes
was
to play
written by
ball.
Favreau, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
so.
for sure.
Yeah.
And
It
then
shows.
when Carl Weathers says, I'm rich too,
Yes.
he like tucks it back into his pocket where he gets shot. There's like a lot of
Great
those
foreshadowing.
instances where something is shown at like the very beginning of the episode.
Yeah, and then, right as soon as Carl Weathers gets shot at the end of the episode, and he's laying on the ground, I was like, oh yeah, the Beskar's on his pocket. That's the classic movie, TV show trope of like,
My
It's a
book.
cliche,
Yeah.
but like I don't even care.
right, because The Mandalorian is using cliches in a way that probably wouldn't work if it was anything other than Star Wars, but just being like straight up ripping off westerns and like kind of like
Or, like-
old-timey movie
Or like,
cliches.
hey, how do you make like the gunslinger thing, the lone gunslinger thing? How do you make that cool again? Well, you use blasters and
Mhm.
spaceships, and grown men will be like,
and make him look kind of like Boba Fett.
Yeah. And like, what were they doing to Baby Yoda? They were like scanning him, and
Yeah.
he was in a little bed thing.
doing some shit. I don't feel good about it.
Right. Like I still firmly believe.
He's too young. He's 50 years old. He's too young to consent.
True. But I still firmly believe that there's something going on. There's got to be something going on with something Baby Yoda's powers,
Yeah.
something he possesses is going to benefit the Emperor.
Yeah, they're probably trying to like rebuild the Empire with like an asset that is force sensitive, probably. However,
Dude, what if Baby Yoda is Palpatine?
I was just
This-
thinking like he was a miracle baby born of the Force to help balance things out. I'm going back to the old prophecy. Like, I don't know. That's what I first
Yeah.
thought.
And then also like we know that I forget his name, but he's the actor for Gus Fring.
Oh yes.
He is in there, and he has like a squad of Death Troopers. So that kind of goes back with what we were saying about tying in Rogue One again.
True.
Death Troopers. So
But so I mean, obviously he gets his new mission, and he's got intense cognitive dissonance. He looks at the little ball thing. I mean,
And, like, do you think that was a descendant of Admiral Akbar, since he said it's a nobleman's nephew or something?
Hi,
be.
Ridley Vargas.
There you go. Buck said hello. Or maybe like Raditz
Yeah.
from Rogue One.
I thought, like, Raditz. I was thinking of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh,
Goku's brother.
now you just reminded me
Raditz.
how Akbar goes out, and I'm salty again.
we're not going to talk about that. Yeah, I mean it could be. Although there are plenty of noble Mon Calamari
Yeah.
people sprinkled throughout Star Wars media, comic books, like in the Vader series.
And even Clone Wars.
Yeah, true. So, I mean, it could be anyone, but I would love for them to somehow be able to show us a live action Mon Calamari planet, because it seems so cool. It's like so ocean based, but it's not quite like Camino.
Mm.
I think seems like it's more like peaceful.
Yeah.
The waters, at least.
What is it?
So peaceful.
Don't you get to go on the Mon Calamari planet, or at least one of them in KOTOR, right? And like help clean up the environment, or maybe that's KOTOR 2.
I'm not sure. I still have not played KOTOR 2.
Pretty sure, yeah, that's KOTOR 2, and like you help them out, and they talk funny.
Interesting.
That's nice.
Love me some Mon Calamari though. General
Especially
Radis.
the money.
Yeah, the goopy money. It looks like a soap thing that you would like throw in your laundry.
Yeah. A Tide Pod?
Yeah. Yeah, a Tide Pod. That's what it's called.
Oh no.
I blocked that out of my mind for obvious
What if
reasons.
the Mandalorian gets paid in Tide Pods?
He gives him to
You
baby.
earned it.
He gives him to Baby Yoda.
No. That's how the Mandalorian gets his food. He just stuffs a Tide Pod up there. Just
Dude.
eats it.
I like the idea of him having a very long bendy straw that's just good enough to go in his mouth.
He only eats applesauce.
Can you imagine trying to sleep in that thing?
It'd be a nightmare world.
Maybe there's like a rule where you could take it off when you're sleeping.
No. They asked him if he'd ever taken it off. Period. Question mark.
Maybe
Connor's got a
Mandalorians
point.
don't starve.
I think that not taking your helmet off in Mandalorian culture is a metaphor for masturbation in Christianity. You're not supposed to do it, and people will check you on it, but when you're alone, who's looking?
God is looking.
So he goes back for the kid.
Anyways.
True, he has the change of heart, which we predicted in our previous live stream.
To be fair, where else are you going to go?
Right.
At the very least, he kind of like he trolled their asses. He was like, "I'm gonna get this Beskar, and
Yeah.
then I'm gonna come back for the kid."
Yeah.
True, so he's got the clean armor, and that leads to such an awesome, like, Batman-style
True.
scene.
One thing I want to say before getting into the battle sequence is that again, like conveying emotions with a helmet.
Yes.
Like when he was obviously conflicted
Mm-hmm.
about going back for the kid, and he's wearing a mask, but there's still a lot of emotion.
And again, it goes back to like the thing the kid was playing with.
Yeah.
It all like.
Yeah.
It's
It's,
a circle.
I mean, it's just
The ring.
a testament to how good the cinematography is, how good the performances are, and the direction that the Mandalorian, a fully helmeted character, can emote such emotions, and you know exactly what he's feeling, even though he's straight up just wearing a helmet.
Plus, Warwick Davis as a child. Amazing.
What a cameo. Jeez.
Let me go.
But we get the Batman style scene where it's stormtroopers, it's dark in the building, and they're trying to find him, and he's just kind of stealth killing most of them.
You take it easy.
I just yes. I think it's funny because like as a kid, and I don't know if you guys were like this at all. It was like the blaster battle scenes and stuff like they were cool, but I was always I want to get back to the Duel of the Fates. You know what I mean?
Right.
In this, like there's none of it's not like I mean there is no lightsaber fight in that house, but you're like really drawn into these action sequences. I mean like they're shot in a really interesting way.
True.
Like you said, there's like it's like a Batman element there. As I said, there was a mixture of Batman, Spider-Man, and Punisher when he like grapples the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just like there's like weirdly creative kills for like a blaster fight in Star Wars.
True.
Yeah. He uses all of his gadgets
Yeah.
and gizmos.
Finally. Like, we always got teased, like, oh, Boba Fett's got a rocket, he's got a flamethrower, he's got all this stuff. And then, we
We
got...
kind of see Jango Fett.
Right. But
Use
that-
his gizmos.
Well, that's what I was going to say, was like... And then when Jango Fett, they're like, okay, we got to show him firing the rocket. Got to throw the fans a bone.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that we get to see the flamethrower. We got to saw the whistling birds, like, way before I thought we were actually going to see them.
It's like, be careful with these.
I knew that was
They're
gonna
really
pay off,
rare.
like, right away.
I thought based on her dialogue of being like, oh, these are so rare, like, oh, we're going to save these. I mean,
For the finale.
although I think he only shot off like 4 of them, so I don't think he used all of them.
I think they're done.
Yeah, I thought it looked like he used most of them or all of them.
Like in Iron Man 1, when he like finishes Iron Man, and then like...
Oh,
Yeah.
There is oddly a lot of Iron Man, like,
Favreau.
forging scene.
It's Jon Favreau.
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, he wrecks stormtroopers, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Then he faces the challenge
True.
in other bounty hunters.
A Zabrak bounty hunter, J-Rick?
I
Awesome.
saw him.
Awesome.
It was like a Forlom looking.
Yeah, it was like had like a bigger
Black Manta.
Yeah,
Yes.
like a bigger bug-eyed version.
And Constable Zuvio was there,
True. Constable Zuvio.
throwing a couple back at the bar.
He's like, one day they'll put me in those goddamn movies. The deleted scene's coming, Buck. On the re-release of Force Awakens.
I bought the 3D version of Force Awakens for the deleted scenes, and you know what I got?
No
Jack
Constable.
Squat.
There you go.
But pretty cool sequence.
Yeah, we kind of already touched on it for the most part.
But I do love, like, even, you know, we've talked about, like, they've really emphasized the personality of, like, droids in this show. I mean, that's always been a thing in Star Wars, but it's like, I feel like it's really made a strong return in this. And, like, when he gets on the speeder and tells the droid to go, and it doesn't, then he pulls the blaster.
Yeah.
It's like, drive. And it goes. Amazing, but
Is it weird to think that, I mean, we kind of got it in Solo, I know you haven't seen it, but like the robots in the Star Wars universe don't want to die? Like they're aware of death?
I think that's a fascinating concept.
Like even little astromech droids like that one knows what getting a gun pointed in his face means. It's a weird concept.
Or the classic, the droid getting the hot iron.
Yeah, on his feet. I want a movie explaining how the droids understand death. They feel pain.
I don't. I just want little snippets like this every once in a while.
Chappie.
Chappie is actually tied to Star Wars. I don't know if you know.
Neil Blomkamp's Star Wars film coming in 3079.
Starring D. Antwoord.
But like, so then we get again another parallel. We didn't say it on air yet. We get the Iron Man 3 ending.
True.
But there were people
I
in
never
the
saw
suits.
that movie.
It's in a good way. We don't mean that in a negative way.
Which is odd, because normally when we say Iron Man 3, we do mean it in a bad way.
Well, yes. The end of Iron Man 3, Tony activates like all of his suits, but they're not piloted by anyone, but he somehow has the technology to pilot them all.
Mm.
So they're on like an autopilot mode, and it's like this big clusterfuck scene shootout, where it's a bunch of Iron Man suits versus a bunch of...
But there are like no stakes, because there's no one in the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like suits are getting destroyed and like... Yeah.
But it's a very similar concept. Like we pointed out, the forging scene of the armor was very Iron Man 1 reminiscent. So it was like all the Mandalorians showing up now.
I remember next to nothing about any of the Iron Man movies, except I remember AC/DC being present in one of them.
Iron Man 1's still a banger. So
I think the last time I watched that was in 9th grade biology class.
No, man. It came on USA on the 4th of July.
We hung out, then we watched Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, watched that end credit scene teaser before he got replaced by Mark Ruffalo.
I've only seen Eric Bana Hulk.
I'm sorry.
Welcome to Hulk Chat.
So, and we get the great reaffirmation of the bromance or the frenemy angle.
Between the
this is the way.
The heavy Mandalorian and the regular Mandalorian.
I love the element of, save yourself, we'll hold them back.
Mm-hmm.
And like, and then, he gets to the ship and Carl Weathers is waiting for him.
Just like on a ladder. He's just
it's like so crude. And you think there might be like some one-on-one fight there, and it's pretty quickly like, nah.
I didn't know if it was going to be Carl Weathers or Werner Herzog waiting for him in the ship. I was waiting for his old ass.
Imagine that,
Grief Cargasson.
Yeah.
But he
has full Beskar armor. You can't really do anything against him. Like, what was he going to do with that single little blaster?
Nothing.
Blaster.
It's already been proven that even big blasters don't do anything to the Beskar armor.
I mean, it knocks him back and, like, probably bruises him up.
Shoot him in the armpit when he raises his arm up. because there's no Beskar plate right there.
Right.
Goes right through to his heart.
That's a lucky shot.
You put a lot of thought in this book.
But I did love the scene of the heavy infantry Mandalorian just dropping down with his big turret. Can't wait to get that figure.
Yeah.
Oh man, because that figure got leaked like a week in advance or something. So the whole time I'm like, man, how's this gonna like play into the show? Like, what are we gonna see this heavy infantry Mandalorian from? Like a flashback or something like that. So it was cool that he was actually like a character that spoke and had like a little bit of a bromance with the Mandalorian. Gave him the old salute before flying.
That was great.
It's so cartoony.
It's John Cena.
Yeah.
But a great
And
moment.
then he teases.
Yeah.
I gotta get me one of those.
Which, again, it's like Iron Man. Next time, baby. Next
Yeah.
time.
I saw a good meme where they photoshopped that new Tesla car outside, and Mando was just like, I gotta get one of those.
He'll have a Beskar truck.
Memes.
Yeah, so I mean,
unbreakable windows.
I know Justin just wanted to talk about Deborah Chow.
Oh yeah, I mean, I
Debbie.
thought it was worth noting that she has a series coming up,
True. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
and she directed this episode and is great.
And this episode might be the best episode of The
So
Mandalorian.
for all those 50-year-old misogynistic Star Wars fans out there who hates women, give it a chance.
Don't talk about Connor like that. He's right across the table.
I just want to throw that in there.
Alright, so final thoughts on The Mandalorian.
Can't wait to see where it goes next. I find myself saying that every episode.
I
Like,
hear-
where are they going to relocate?
I hear rumors that Cara Dune's finally going to be in the next episode.
Oh,
I keep waiting.
We didn't talk about the flashback with the super battle droid.
True, the thumbnail of this video.
Which, God, I just love seeing Clone Wars era content in live action form. Who's gonna save him? I mean, the Mandalorian did say he was a foundling in one of the other episodes, so it's probably gonna be a Mandalorian warrior.
What if it's Sabine?
I don't think she was.
Or Pre Vizsla. He's not dead yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because this is Clone
Fucking
Wars
timelines.
era.
How do they work?
To me, it is fascinating that like the Clone Wars are like this big piece of the Star Wars mythology, but like it gets set up at the end of 2. I mean, it's like starts at the end of 2, and it's over within about a half hour of like 3.
Right.
I mean, there's obviously like the whole series,
Yeah.
but as far as like the live action like content that most people I think.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
the
why we
continuity
have
between
the.
just the movies 2 and 3. Awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you start 3 with like, wait, what the?
Like, it's
What?
already over?
Who?
Yeah, because the Battle of Coruscant is like the last huge battle of the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Revenge of the Sith didn't show like the ground battle scene, but the cartoon did.
Yeah.
The 2D.
True.
But I think that's also why people are so confused, because Mandalorian stuff is pretty like you have to go to third-party things to watch it, video game, novel, or the Clone Wars TV show, Rebels, etc. So that is why everyone thinks like, this isn't Boba Fett? Because like that in the movies, the only like Mandalorian armor you see is Boba Fett and Jango Fett.
Which Jango Fett and Boba Fett are not Mandalorian. Sorry to tell you, they're just wearing the armor.
What?
But yeah, so great episode. Can't wait for episode 4. Hopefully we get to see Cara Dune. Again, I've heard some things that maybe she is in the next episode, which I'm ready.
Yeah.
She's got that big fucking gun, and I want to see her kill some people with it. Do you think she's a Mandalorian that doesn't wear a helmet?
No.
Is she from a different clan?
No.
What does her bio say on the back of the figure?
Who's her father?
That she's a ex-fighter for the rebellion.
Fuck!
And like I thought it was a mole, but
Uh-huh.
it's a rebellion tattoo on her face.
Oh.
It's like a little tiny little rebellion logo tattoo. It's not a mole.
Interesting.
When you go through a bad breakup and get a rebellion tattoo on your face.
Is it an R for rebellion? Or is it
Or
the
Team
actual...
Rocket?
It's the
It's the
insignia?
logo, yeah.
Is it really?
I think so, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I show up to the next episode.
Just Sharpie.
Get some
like real bad.
scarification.
Alright, so yeah, that's going to be it for our live stream discussion of Mandalorian Season 1, Episode 3. Tune in next week, same time. Although we started a little late today, had to change it to 7:30 so we could eat din.
Sure.
But 7:30, around that time, next Tuesday, we will see you right here for our live stream discussion of The Mandalorian. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new. We're always talking about Star Wars, action figure, adult collectibles, not for children.
We're not for children.
Blu-rays, movies. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, you're already in the right place. Of course, I'm Nate. I've been joined with Connor.
See you next time.
Steven, take care. Justin,
See you guys.
we'll see you guys next week. All right.
Run the stream.
I gotta walk all the way over here to end the stream.
Oh no!
Belly
They're gonna
run.
hear the things Buck says when the camera's not on.
Mother!